Hello and welcome to Soundcheck Music School's podcast, episode 13. My name is Electra Barakos.
I'm Dan Welby.
How are you guys? How are you, Dan?
Oh, me? I'm great.
You know, I waved at the camera. By the way, guys, we are filming our podcast. We started filming a couple weeks ago, so they are uploaded on our YouTube page. But yeah, so I said hello to the camera, and then I was like, hello, how are you guys? I went to complete vlog mode. How are you, Dan?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's new?
What's new? Lucky 13.
Today?
The episode.
Oh, but today's the 13th too.
Oh.
I shouldn't have said that.
Probably not.
We don't record our episodes live. We record them ahead of time and just a week ahead. So
yeah.
So anyways, it's okay. But yeah, today is the 13th and today is our 13th episode. And I did not realize that till now. That's cool. Anything exciting happened this past weekend?
No.
That is literally the answer that's been going on since March.
No, you know.
Anything exciting? No.
The phone is ringing at the school a bit. You know, there's been some calls. Yeah, a few calls have come in. So, you know, it's we're still COVID strong here, but for the first few months there was no calls coming at all. There was literally nothing. In the last several weeks, it started to come back around just a little bit. So,
school has started.
Yeah, school's getting back underway for a few.
Yes, it hasn't started for all districts, but it has started for a few, and it's kind of brutal for them. Although I've heard from a couple students different scenarios I told you about, but everything is virtual. So I think that having the opportunity to come in for in-person lessons when it comes to music, since we do offer that, and we are following safety guidelines, we are following all the protocol, everything that's needed to be done in order to provide a safe and healthy environment for all of our clients. So it's I think it is a good thing for us to remain open and give our students that opportunity to break away from the computer if they want to.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And we also started the virtual, of course, band program. That is the unfortunate part about the situation is that even though we can have the one-on-one individual lessons, having a whole band rehearse in a room may be a little bit tricky right now due to the
we're still avoiding any kind of large groups of kids. The one-on-one thing is fine. Mm-hmm. And of course in between lessons is a 15-minute gap where we clean everything up a little bit and make everything ready for the next.
Yes, air the room out.
But we did decide to start up the virtual band program. Yeah. So no results yet, but the process is underway. But I think
all the kids are enjoying it so far.
Yeah.
They are enjoying it. I've heard good things. And I look forward to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the results, honestly.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think it's going to be really good.
Very good.
Very nice. Well, today's topic is something that we kind of touched up on before. I think it was like the third episode in. We talked about how to be a good teacher and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So today we may, repeat a few things, but today's episode is focusing on the do's and the don'ts of a music teacher.
Yeah.
And of course, Maverick, because it never fails, he has to ruin everything, is ringing the bells, signaling us that he wants to go outside. But I'm going to ignore him for now.
Yeah. Look at him go. Look at him go.
If you guys never heard of this, there's such thing as bells that you can train your dog to ring the bell that's hanging off the door whenever he wants to go outside. The problem with him is that he doesn't necessarily want to go outside for business. Yeah. He just wants to go outside and chill in the balcony and eat leaves and drink dirty water.
I think he knows we're talking about him right now.
He does.
I mean, he's like staring us down, dude. It's like he's just totally staring us down. That's intense.
Yeah, he literally knows you're talking about him. Yeah. Anyways, so freaking cute.
So the do's and don'ts. The don'ts and do's.
And we've created a short little list, not too extensive here, but starting with showing up, right? Well, actually,
you should know how to play the instrument you're about to teach.
Yes, that is true. Hold on, that's a very good point.
Well, I mean,
how versatile should you be on the instrument?
Or how competent? I mean, Yeah, I mean, you should
not versatile. Sorry, I meant like how much of a virtuoso.
Yeah, how competent? No,
okay.
I mean, not virtuoso, but how competent should you be? I mean, listen, I mean, you should be I think you should be confident. If you're not going to gig on the instrument, you might not be. I don't think you should be teaching it.
I agree.
I don't know. I just kind of came up with that right now off the top of my head.
I agree.
But I don't know if that's appropriate.
I agree. If you cannot accept a gig playing that instrument,
you probably shouldn't teach it.
You probably shouldn't teach it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's.
But hold on. At what level? Like, for example, I teach piano, but would I want to be like, would I accept a gig to go like play? I don't know.
I know. See, again, that's what. Maybe it's.
I could play some stuff. Like I could, but like, don't ask me to go out and solo. Like.
Well, I think listen. The basic premise with teaching, I think, is that as long as you know more than the student.
But that's not.
As I said, that's the basic premise. Is as long as you know more than the student, you should be able to teach them. But
10 times more than the student.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean,
times.
It's a touchy thing there, because the issue is that if you end up working with that student for any substantial amount of time, it's like you're going to run dry real quick. It's like for me, I've been playing bass for a while, right? I wouldn't take a gig on the instrument. And I could teach somebody some stuff. I know I could.
Very
I know enough. I know enough about it, but I certainly wouldn't sell myself as a bass teacher in any capacity because I know I would run dry really quickly. And I would maybe do it and say, "Listen, I'll teach you for a few lessons until the actual teacher comes back, or I can do something to just get you going. But you got to understand, I would disclaimer it right up front. Yeah. Listen, I'm not your guy,
and I think that's
can't
good.
Take you.
Remember, you had that one student that wanted to learn the banjo. Djembe.
Oh, the djembe. Yeah. Ron
out.
Or something like that.
Ron wanted to learn the djembe, and you're not proficient at the djembe, but you can
I can do some
fake your
stuff.
way through it.
Sure, yeah.
So, but you were very transparent with him.
Oh, yeah.
And you said to the guy, you said, "Listen, I cannot possibly teach you this instrument 100%.
Yeah.
Let's do drums." And he's like, "No, I want to do djembe." And you're like, "Okay, well, let's just do one lesson and see." And then he told me, because I kind of manage the school too, so I talk to all the clients. So he told me after the lesson, I don't know if he knew that we were husband and wife, but he told me, or even before the lesson, when you were, I think before he even signed up, when you were transparent with him and you told him, "Listen, I'm not your guy, blah, 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 blah." He goes to me, "I want him." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "He's honest. I want him. I know I can learn something." And he did enjoy it.
Yeah, he did. He didn't stick around for very long. It's a weird situation.
Well, he was coming and taking lessons because his daughter was taking lessons. And then something happened with her schedule. They had to stop. And you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Take a break for the summer. And then,
where'd they go?
It kind of works this way, our schedule. How are we going to fit lessons again?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
So just be confident with that instrument. If you're not confident with it, that does transpire. Thanks for spilling. If you're not confident, that does transpire to the students. Like the kids are not stupid, and and especially if you're teaching like all ages. But I guess so now you know your instrument, and now you want to teach. No. For example, a phone. So say you're running your own studio, right? And somebody calls for lessons and you can't answer the phone. How soon should you get back to that phone call?
Oh, I mean, as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Because, guys, understand that when people are shopping for lessons, you are literally not the only person they're
Definitely
calling.
not.
And maybe you're a personal referral and they're going to, wait for you. But when they're looking for lessons, first of all, one, you have their attention for lessons, because the minute you don't answer the phone, then they get busy with something else and then they forget about it. And then a week goes by and they're like, "Oh shoot, I forgot I need to call for those lessons." So calling as soon as you possibly can the client back is extremely important and beneficial for you to get their interest.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's before. Now you got the students. So what's a first do?
Well, be ready, be prepared. I mean, if they come into you, you should be there before they are.
So show up.
I mean, so this would go for, let's say, your first student of the day, right? Uh-huh. So, if your first student of the day is at 3:00, I mean, you should probably not be there much later than 2:50, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. because you don't want to show up at 3. That's a bad idea.
And we've talked about this before.
Sure.
And it is so important. I've said this. I've mentioned my history, my past, my nasty past when I was a lagger and showed up on time. Not early, but on time.
On time is late. One of my favorite teachers said that.
And I would always run in the school. This was prior to owning our own place. Run into the school, rush the student inside. Let's go. And of course, what does that create? A lot of stress for me, right? It's a stressful time. Now, did I want to be late? I didn't want to be late, but it was just I wasn't preparing myself the right way.
Sure.
Preparing my time. So yeah, don't be late. It sucks to be late for you. You can't take the restroom break, or if you do take that restroom, you're doing it while it's during their lesson, which is not fair to them. They're paying a high value.
Yeah, you got to respect their time.
Yeah, and you guys have to, teachers need to understand that music lessons are not cheap. I mean, unless you're running your own place and you're charging like $15 half an hour.
Which you shouldn't be.
Which you shouldn't. But if you are, I mean, okay, whatever, do whatever you want. But even if you are, I mean, that's your decision. You should still respect their time. But again, music lessons in general have a high price tag.
Yeah.
And you have to be extremely respectful of their time. So taking restroom breaks, this is another point that I have on my list, but taking restroom breaks too often, obviously we understand if you need to go, but you have to be very considerate. A lot of times walking out of the lesson for any sort of reason, whether it's going to go get a drink or a snack, or walking outside in the middle of a lesson for that should really be very limited.
Yeah, you should not be doing that as often.
No.
It'll
happen once in a while, but you should prepare yourself much.
So anything that you'll ever need within the lesson, and even at Soundcheck, we might have to set this up a little better with some rooms. There's no printer or copy machine within some of the rooms, so teachers will have to come out to the lobby to get a photocopy or something.
Well, that was kind of solved before COVID. I assigned that task to Sierra, who was running the front desk.
Gotcha.
And I had told all the teachers that whatever you need printed, you send it to the email,
right? And
Sierra will be on it and print it out,
right?
So that was kind of a solution. Or print it from your, because we have a Bluetooth printer, print it from your computer. Sierra will come bring it. But another thing about printing, though, when you have to print material from a book, that takes a long time to print. And I've seen it happen many times where a teacher takes a long time printing while there's a student waiting. Right. And I've done it too. So I don't know, okay, this brings us to a lesson plan.
Sure, yeah.
Have sort of a lesson plan for the student. Know ahead of time what you're doing. You see, I write down every week what I do with my students, so I kind of know what I want to do the next time.
Right.
And then if there are pages that I need to print out from a book, maybe have those prepared.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Mm-hmm. I mean, preparation is important, that's for sure.
Yeah. Great. You're a man of many words today.
You got it covered. I mean, I don't know. There's not. Yeah, I mean, you got it all. You're saying everything there is to say. So,
Well, ask questions. Engage with the student is the next do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Talk about that.
Well, this is something I do an awful lot. I ask them lots of questions.
Too often.
Maybe, I don't know,
Make them extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, you got to kind of do that, I think. You can, I think telling them stuff all the time is not always going to be the best thing. You got to ask them a question and make them think for a moment and, let them sit on it for a moment when you ask them something. And I'll even ask the same questions all the time because they don't know the answer. I'll ask them the same question 5 weeks in a row. And they still don't know the answer. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep asking you, and eventually you're going to remember this, you know. But yeah, I think that, yes, you do need to tell them things, but asking them and trying to get them to think their way through it. And sometimes they'll be quick to say, I don't know. And say, whoa, hold on. You didn't even take a moment to ponder. think for a moment. Think about our time. Go back in your brain a little bit here and see if you can dig it up. Sometimes they do. Most of the time they don't. And I just try to walk them into it. I'll ask them another question. Okay, well, so for instance, like, I don't know if I talk to, so triplets. You guys remember triplets? No, you don't remember triplets? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we did talk about triplets. And I was like, so the first thing we need to do is, well, do you remember how to count triplets? No. Okay. Well, what letter does the word triplet begin with? T. Great. So when we count triplets, the letter T is involved in the count. We say one, ta, ta. Oh, yeah, I remember that. But anyways, there's a series of questions there that I try to get them to hopefully remember. And I don't know. I mean, it may work, it may not. I don't know. But I do think that asking a question is better than telling all the time.
Right. Yeah.
But or even just
and that's engaging the student, and like you said, keeping them involved.
Right.
And not because kids and anybody can really get distracted and maybe be doing things, just going through the motions through the lesson. And if you're not talking to them, they're just doing mechanically and thinking about what they're going to eat or whatever they're thinking of. So I think definitely asking them questions is
sure, yeah,
is very important.
A little bit of small talk in the beginning of a lesson can be good. Like, so did anything happen this week? Which the answer is usually no. Anything exciting happen this week? Usually no. Okay. What else is going on? Nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you do with your time? I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
And that's, it's usually how it goes. But you keep trying to talk to them and ask them like about eventually they will start to talk a little bit,
Of course,
or you might say, well, what about video games? Did you play any video games? Oh yeah, I played lots of video games. Well, how come you didn't say that? I asked you if you were doing anything and you said, oh, I don't know, or no. I was like, well, yeah, I played some video games. Oh, great. What video games were you playing?
Fortnite.
Fortnite, or what was the other one there? Minecraft was a big one for a long time. It's like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. I don't know those games, but that's cool. You like playing them? Oh yeah, I like it. And and then to get right into.
Oh God. Okay, let's hold on. Pick up Maverick. We need to show him to the world. Oh no, now he's running away.
He's all feisty and stuff.
He's very feisty. He wants to play with the Roomba. The Roomba vacuum. Okay, so for all of you watching us on YouTube, Mavi. Okay, forget it. Soon, I promise. Okay, let's go a don't. So we said do not be late. Do not eat a meal while teaching. Snacks are okay.
Yeah.
You can snack, especially I've had so many times a very long day. Oh, there is Mavi for you.
I got him.
Oh,
I got him. Well,
this is a little monster.
Speak.
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 Speak, Mavi. Speak.
Oh,
guys.
You got a microphone. Look at it.
Come on. Speak. Speak. He's like, what is happening?
No?
Come on. Aw. I'm trying to get him to speak on command.
Yeah, that would be funny.
So,
but yeah, eating, right? So listen, sometimes we have long days.
Yes, no, I was just saying, like I've, and again, back to my pre-owning a business days. So many times anybody listening to this, maybe some of my students that have been with me for a very long time, they may turn around and be like, you hypocrite, Electra, what the heck are you talking about? You eat all the time. I used to eat my meals because I would always be late and I wasn't planning ahead, and I would go to school, not my school, and I would go to the school and eat while I'm teaching. Now, does that mean that I took away from no, I mean, I did a good job, but again, it just doesn't, now being a business owner and looking at it from the outside, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But there has been a couple instances, even during this time of me owning the business, where we have been running late because of whatever reason. We got caught into stuff and I don't have any breaks in my schedule. And then I find the right student
Yeah, sure.
to eat during their lesson. A student that's been with me for a while, a student that I know that I don't have to be like completely like
On, right.
100%.
And they're competent. You can say, okay, here, let's perform the song.
Exactly.
And you
Just
can
do
pay
this,
attention
whatever.
to what they're doing as you're eating.
Yeah.
And then, once the song is done, you can throw a little bit of feedback at them.
But this does not happen. This rarely happens anymore. Rarely. It is a very urgent circumstance where I just had to, like that. I had no other option, but I had to eat during the lesson.
But have something to snack on. That's fine.
Snacks
Because
are
I get
fine.
it, man. Like, listen, when I'm hungry, when my stomach gets grumbly.
Like right now, you're a little hangry.
Yeah, I'm a little hangry right now, but I mean, the soda's helping. But no, but like when I'm teaching, though, if I start to get hungry, I get really irritable. And, even just having like a bag of trail mix.
Yeah, nuts is
some
great.
Nuts are great. I mean, any kind of nuts, they get the protein. So,
So
fills you up.
snacking on something, you're more than welcome to do that. But just, again, it's about being respectful of their time and eating during the lesson time. First of all, even the smell, or imagine you being a student that's hungry, that couldn't eat before you got there. And now you're smelling, the room smells like food. And now you're like, oh my God, my stomach is killing me. I got to sing.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'm thinking of is eating. So it doesn't help with that in that case. I don't know. I just thought about that.
Yeah.
A do. Let's go back to a do. Give feedback to the parent after each lesson.
Yeah, it depends.
If the parent is in there.
Some parents want that feedback, some don't. Yeah, and I mean, what I find this happens more is maybe in the beginning. Within the first few lessons, I find that parents might be a little bit more interested in what's going on. And then I find that as time goes by that they tend to not ask as often, and they might come in every so often. For me, at least, this is how I've experienced it,
I agree with you. I also feel like it has to do with age too. If you're dealing with a very young student and the parent is there at the end of the lesson, I think that informing the parent of what you guys did or what you want the student to work on for next time is extremely important. Or even just saying, "Wow, he did great today. The attention was awesome." Or he or she was a little distracted today. I had to keep making sure that I can attract their attention.
Yeah.
Even something like that. I think that giving something to the parents to walk away with, of understanding what they just paid for, or where their money went, or what happened today. Oh God, you see, this is what's happening. Yeah.
Keep it going.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Maverick is being very wild these days. But that's a 4.5-month-old puppy. So you can only expect that. And as most of you know, I'm pregnant. So when that baby comes, I'll probably be breastfeeding while doing a podcast. Possibly. So anyways, back to the topic. But yeah, basically giving feedback I think is extremely positive, and parents do appreciate that. And if the kid did well, that's a very good thing to go and tell them, because then the kid feels good about it too. If it's an older, like maybe a teenager, as you said, maybe in the beginning, it's important that every time you talk to the parent. But moving forward, maybe you don't have to talk every time. Maybe say, "Oh, did great," or if there's a specific lesson that there was something specific that person needs to work on. Say, "Hey, today we worked on this. Can you please remind him that he needs to work on the rudiments?"
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. I feel like I can tell when a parent wants something or when they don't.
Sure.
I don't know.
But always be prepared to speak.
Definitely be prepared.
Be
for
prepared
it,
to
yeah.
speak, because you don't want to be caught off guard and be like, I don't know what to say.
Right.
Don't. Do not text or use your phone while teaching unless it's urgent.
Yeah.
Now, this is tricky too, right? Because technology, we rely on our phones a lot, and we may even be using our phone for our teaching.
Sure, metronome.
Whether that's for music, metronome, whatever.
Music, yep.
But it's very obvious when you're using it for that, and very obvious when you're not using it for that.
Right.
As a business owner, I kind of fall into the trap of being very not. I'm not on my phone, but like my phone rings from clients, or if I have, especially right now with the whole Zoom situation, I have teachers teaching from home. So I could be in a lesson and getting a text message, this person is not online. And then I have to take care of business right then and there. But I'm very quick with it, and I can't, but if you're not the business owner, you have no excuse.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and again, I'm extremely respectful of my students' time. So if I do to text, it's extremely quick, and if I feel like I've gone over, guess what I'm doing? I'm gonna go over on the lesson.
Right.
Even if I have a student right after, I'm just gonna run my whole day late because I had to do something. We got distracted. I had to run out and talk to somebody or whatever it is. So, but I will keep that in mind. I watch the clock. I know how many minutes I wasted, and I will go over. And sometimes I go way over, above and beyond.
Yeah.
So, I do give everybody their time that they've paid for. But yeah, if you're not a business owner and you don't run any of those issues, it is important that you stay off your phone as much as possible, unless it's something urgent.
Yeah, sure. I agree.
I'm glad Dan agrees with everything I say, but it'd be nice if you disagreed. Assign homework.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
What?
Speak.
Yes.
I said speak. Remember, he's coming.
But yeah, I mean, so for me, I have a lot of stuff I write out, and I have a system, especially within the beginning lessons, so I have a lot of stuff pre-made out, pre-lesson sheets made out that I use throughout the lessons. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, the student is always going home with something that they need to do. That's for sure. I mean, it could be just the song, or it could be some patterns in the song, or it could be like, hey, you need to work on your timing more this week, or, there's a multitude of things that can be assigned. But,
right.
It's... Yeah, some students you need to be a little bit more clear about it and be more precise about it. Others can be a little bit more general about what you need to do. You got to kind of gauge that by the student, but definitely be sending them home with some kind of a mission and a goal. Whether it's, for me as a drummer, it's playing a certain drum beat at a certain tempo,
Right.
They'll say, okay, you're able to play it at 65. Great. Let's get it up to 90, Can we get it at 90 soon,
For me, for voice, it would be, either if we're working on a specific song and there's a part in the song that they kept messing up or they don't know well, work on the bridge,
right.
Work on the second chorus, work on remembering to open your mouth on the verse or whatever it is. And then also, or maybe it's telling them, okay, next time you got to come back with a list of songs. So something, an assignment of some sort.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What else we got?
A don't. So don't play too much. Focus on the student playing.
Yeah. This is something I think is pretty important.
Well, I think this was kind of an answer to my do. So my do was demonstrate to the student what you want. So play for the student.
I mean, I'm not saying don't play, but
right.
You gotta. For me, it's like teaching is far less playing than you might want it to be as a player. And if you're playing too much, then the student isn't getting enough out of it, I don't think. I mean, if a student wants to watch drummers play, they can go on YouTube and watch drummers play. It's like they can get their eyes full of drumming from all sorts of places. You need to be, getting them to play. And especially with young ones. And I've seen situations where students don't like it when I play. Freaks them out a little bit, I think, and I've had some young kids, like, when I play, they look at me like, how am I ever supposed to do that? They don't say it, but I can almost see it in their face, And, I've even got to the point now where with some kids, I'll be like, hey, do you want me to play for you? Do you want me to show you what this is? And some will say no. Yeah.
You keep going.
Sure. Some will say no. I don't want you to do that. I'm like, okay, fine. So we'll just keep on working through some of these mechanics and try to, see if we can get you to move with it. And others will be like, yeah, sure, let's play, but I think that it's usually, obviously, the teacher's better than the student, right? So as a teacher, if you are going to be playing, you do, for the most of the time, you need to drop it down to where their level is and try to be more of a guide as opposed to show off, I guess. On occasion, you need to do that, You definitely, on occasion, they need to see, oh, okay, so
Right.
This guy really is great, But, you don't want to do that too often. I mean, it's almost like as a player within a song, right? It's like if you're constantly doing chops in a song, right? It gets old. It's like people listening are like, okay, dude, can you just like stop doing so many fills, or why are you doing so many? Right. It's like, but if you just find that right spot in the song to do it, it's like, whoa, everybody's like, and then you go right back to just kind of grooving. And so when teaching, I think it's a similar thing where, you got to know just the small little spots here and there when you go and do something crazy, and then you just, their jaw drops on the floor or something like that. But too much, and they're just going to not be interested anymore. They're going to be like, okay, this guy's just always doing what he wants to do, and what am I getting out of it?
Yeah. I demonstrate on vocals a lot, but with piano, for example, when I do teach piano, I think when they're learning a new song and they're playing it extremely slow and it sounds, like nothing, doesn't sound like a song, I like to, at the end, play it for them in the tempo that it needs to be. So I do play the song for them at the end.
Start to finish?
Start to finish. Well,
I rarely do that.
It's a song like from a book. So we're talking about like a one pager.
Oh, I see.
Or
it's
a two pager. No, not an actual
not like a pop song.
No, not a pop song. No, if it were a pop song, maybe I'd play the intro if there's like an intricate piano part or whatever.
Right.
But or if it's a groove, I'll just example.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, I'll do that with some.
I'm talking about reading.
Like
if we're doing reading and we're playing a song from a book that's literally a one pager or a two pager, then I will play it from start to finish in the tempo that it's supposed to be, so they can understand and hear it in their own ears what it's supposed to sound like. So that will first of all motivate them possibly to want to practice it, because they're like, oh, that kind of sounded cool, or like, oh, now that does sound like When the Saints Go Marching In. When I played it, it didn't sound like that.
Right.
So I think that's important.
I think the only a possible different way of, if you wanted to play more or something like that, would be if you play another instrument that complements the instrument that you're teaching. So, for instance, me as a bass player, right, I would never teach bass, but I do. On occasion, I'll say to my drummer, okay, hey, give me a drum beat. I'm going to play some bass for you,
Right.
and try to get that interaction. I think something like that can be good. But even that, you got to be careful that as a player, you don't get too, jammy and too into it and then all of a sudden the student's losing interest. You got to just, as long as you can make sure that the student is engaged and interested and still working it, then I think it's fine. But it's just always have to be aware of the student and what the student needs and what they're possibly experiencing at that moment. Are they into it? Okay, great. Are they not into it? Well, you might need to change gears,
Right.
and find another way to engage them and bring them in. And I think that's another thing too, that you don't want to be too rigid on a certain course, right? Sometimes you might be like, okay, this is something that they need to do, and there's really no way around it. They have to learn how to do this, and you might push on it for a bit, but you got to know when to say, okay, you know what, we're going to change course. We'll come back to that later. So because you got to know. Because if you just keep doing something over and over again, I mean, yeah, we get it. You need to know how to do it, but it's going to get old, and they're not going to be interested anymore. So don't be don't be too rigid all the time. Make sure you're ready to kind of pivot. And it could be right in the middle of the lesson that you just see it happen where their eyes glaze over and you go, okay, all right, hold on. Let's do this. Let's just change it up. And I've done that quite a bit. And, because you can see it when they just don't really want to fucking deal with it anymore, So you got to know when to adapt and pivot for them so that they are still going to be interested.
Right. Very good. Very nice points there.
Yeah.
Don't go over lesson time. So we talked about respecting the student's time. And that means don't waste their time while in the lesson. But this also goes with don't go over their time. If a lot of times, especially with parents, when we're talking about younger kids, they've planned their day. So if you plan to go over because you're having fun with a student or for whatever reason, perhaps it's best that you always ask. Yeah. You always ask the parent or ask the student if they are responsible for themselves. Hey, are you on a time crunch or can I keep you a little longer? Right. And then most of the times you'll get a yes because they're like, sure, exactly. I'll stay longer. Why not? I'll take advantage. And also don't cut the lesson short, right? It's even if that's by like a couple minutes. Yeah, you got to be careful. You seriously should not be cutting the lesson, even if it's by 2 minutes shorter. Because 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 2 minutes there. It adds up. And then the parents mostly, or if you're dealing with an adult, students, will recognize that. They'll be like, wow, they're constantly cutting me 2 minutes before. Yep. Part of the thing with what I mean by don't go over lesson time as well. And I think this is more important in the beginning of the relationship between the student and the teacher. Because if you're one of those nice people and you constantly going over the lesson time because you're just excited and all that stuff and you want to keep away and they're a cool student or whatever, then they start to get used to that. And then when you start to go and you have to end it on time, you can almost feel bad, or they might start to go, well, how come I'm not getting the extra time anymore? So I think it's sort of this. When you're first starting that relationship, you need to be strict about it. You need to be, I'm going to respect your time and you're going to respect my time type of a thing. We're going to start on time. We're going to end on time. Yeah. And then, as the relationship goes along and, maybe the student after them isn't coming in that day and, hey, and things are rolling, hey, listen, you get an extra 10 minutes. We'll just do this one last thing, Sure. And that can actually look good. It's a way of giving your time and they'll appreciate that. If you do it too often, then they'll start to take it for granted or it won't be any appreciation there. So, and I think on occasion, it is a good thing to do that if you have the ability to spend that little bit of extra time because, it shows that you care, and I mean, you're not obligated to do it, but I certainly have done it, quite a few times. But again, I don't do it in the beginnings of meeting a student. I try not to. Sometimes it happens, but you got to try your best to just get it done on time. If you can't fit everything into the lesson time, you maybe suggest to them, hey, we have a lot to talk about. You seem really interested. We're doing you should probably do 45-minute lessons or 1 hour lessons and let's, and then make that happen, So it's kind of a weird, you can go either way on it, but I think it's just don't do it often and make sure that it's sort of a gift and that they'll appreciate it when it does happen. Exactly. I agree. And I used to actually be terrible with that in the beginning of my teaching days or when I was teaching a lot from home and really created some good relationships with some people. That half-hour lesson was never a half-hour lesson. Right. I would literally go for an hour. And it was bad, I mean, obviously the student loved it, but at the times that I would keep it at half an hour, I felt bad.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's so it is important that if you're going to go over, you do it selectively a few times here and there, and then they'll appreciate it. Otherwise, they take it for granted. So.
Yeah. It's just something to be careful with.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it for my list of do's and don'ts that I could have thought of. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Smell good?
Yes. Oh my God. That is so important.
You know, if you smoke cigarettes or something like that, you know, you may want to try to make sure that, you know, you don't smoke like right before your lesson or...
And let me just add to that. Smokers do not know they smell like smoke.
Yeah.
And I am a non-smoker, and I can guarantee you, I promise you, first of all, I come from a family of smokers.
Yeah.
Everybody in my family smokes. Every single person, my whole life. I've been a secondhand smoker since birth. Okay? So, but I've never touched a cigarette. Because I think it's disgusting, and I've never inhaled one. I've never tried one. But I can tell you, guys, I promise you, and this is not to be mean, this is not us to be bitchy about it or anything. It's literally the truth. You smell like cigarettes. Like, I don't care. You smell like cigarettes. It is.
I've been a smoker. I used to smoke.
And the smoker cannot smell that.
Right.
You know how like when you put a perfume and like you don't smell your own perfume. You shouldn't be smelling your own perfume.
Right.
It's the same thing. Like you can't smell your own smoke. So I can guarantee you, if you're a smoker and you smoke right before you come to lesson, you smell like smoke.
Yep.
And when you're in a confined room, a one-on-one lesson, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Imagine it's like almost like as bad as having a dentist who smells like smoke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Working on your mouth, you know?
Yep. I'd say that's an important thing.
Yeah.
Make sure your breath is good too.
And look good, right? Make sure, do dress nice.
Yeah, dress
Don't
nicely.
dress as if you literally just woke up, because again, that's disrespectful. Remember, these are high price tagged
showing
lessons.
up in flip flops and sweatpants with a t-shirt
or ripped t-shirts, not purposely ripped t-shirt.
Right.
You know, you have
right.
to.
I'm saying like a t-shirt, like not like a nicer. You know, this is a decent t-shirt, but you know, something that just
dress nice. You're going to work, even if the student is coming to you, that is your work. If you're going to a student's house, that is your work. Just dress like you're going to work.
Yeah.
It's extremely important to look professional and good. And again, image is everything. And
big time.
It really matters.
Yep.
Have your instruments, cables, whatever you need with you. Have extra for the students.
Because they're never going to bring it.
Exactly. Or theirs broke, or the dog ate it. If you have a Maverick.
Exactly.
Anything else?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go to our trivia. Rock and roll triviologies, which I got to say, our friends Clint or Rudy.
Yeah.
He texted me.
Okay.
He watched our podcast episodes, the YouTube ones.
Okay.
So the last two. And he texted me saying that he knew every single answer.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He's like
smart.
He's like cursing my name. He's like, Dad, what the heck are you doing, man? Come on, you gotta know that stuff. Clint, you're the man.
Yeah. So Clint, let's see if you know these.
We'll have to have you on as a guest one time.
Yes.
And then you can do all the trivia.
Yes, for sure. Okay. Dr. Dre's first solo album, The Chronic, released in 1993, featured the lyrics and rapping of what soon-to-be rap star?
Snoop Dogg. Oh, that's one of my favorite rap. I think that's my favorite rap album of all time. I love that album, The Chronic. I listen to that album so much. There's so much good on that.
I actually just remembered something.
What?
We talked about anything new. Can I plug in something?
Oh, sure. I guess so.
I totally just remembered.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Guys, I have officially announced the release of my new single.
That's right.
That's going to be released on September 4th on all platforms. Pre-order link is available, and I will be posting that on our website as well as all my social network platforms. And the song is called Love Like, and I do have a music video that I shot, and it's going all to be released September 4th. So also, if you have been following my music in the past, this has nothing to do with any of that.
It's different.
It is so different. So you may hate it or you may love it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not.
Me personally, I hate it. I'm just kidding. What?
Well, you know what? I honestly wouldn't.
I don't hate it.
I know, but I wouldn't. But I don't think it's the type of music you would listen to.
No, I would never go out and buy it.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Well, I mean, come on. You hate my music. It's not like
You're so,
you know.
Why am I even married to you? If you wouldn't even buy my music, you suck. I can't believe you just said that on the air.
What?
No dinner for you tonight.
Oh my God.
It is. It's R&B. It's like alternative pop / R&B, soul. There's guitar in there, but it's definitely very, very current sounding. Very, it's commercial, but it's good. I mean, I personally, I'm actually very proud of it. It is all my music and lyrics, and I worked with an amazing producer and actually teacher of Soundcheck Music School, Richard Wynn, extremely talented guy, and he produced my music. He's a genius, and highly recommend him for anybody wanting to work with a like person like him. But anyways, I'm very excited. And then the video was shot by Avo Vision. That's his company name, but Avo is his name, who is extremely talented too. I seriously worked with two people on this. One person for the song, one person for the video. But these two guys, they don't know each other. These two guys, so incredibly talented.
Yeah, they're both very
so good. Worth their time. I mean, it was amazing. So I'm so proud to release this, and I'm so excited for everybody to see it. And I'm nervous about the feedback that I'll get because, again, the people that have been following my music may be like, "This is different." Okay, but they may say, "I like it," or I really miss your old stuff.
You know.
But, my old stuff still exists, and that's never going to go away. I just wanted to take a new route. Okay, sorry, but I read this thing, and I was like, oh, my gosh, how could I possibly forget about this? Because this is big news here. Okay, moving on.
Bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yay. Snoop Dogg's in the house.
Let me see the answers. Okay. This one. The member of the Allman Brothers Band played guitar with Eric Clapton on... Oh, sorry. This member... I apologize. This member of the Allman Brothers Band played guitar with Eric Clapton on Derek and the Dominoes' legendary song, Layla. Does this come like...
Dwayne?
No.
The other one.
Oh, no, you're right.
Okay.
I was looking at the wrong answer.
Okay, cool.
Dwayne Allman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Why am I messing this up? Okay, hold on. There was another question I was going to ask you.
Okay.
The band's journeys include I can't read today. It's done. This band's journeys include stops at Terrapin Station and Shakedown Street. Clint?
Wait, this band's journeys include
stops at Terrapin Station and Shakedown Street.
I don't know, the Grateful Dead?
Yes. How the hell did you know that?
Those just sound like Grateful Dead song names.
All righty. I'm so glad I'm not the one answering these questions.
It was a shot. It was a shot in the dark right there. But I had like this feeling that that's what it was going to be. I don't know. I got lucky. Try me again.
There's no way you know any of this.
No.
Okay.
You didn't think I would know that one.
Chris Isaac.
Wicked Game.
Guy. No. And his first band, took its name from a Sears Roebuck 6-string guitar model. Sears? Like Sears
Yeah,
the
Sears
store.
Roebuck. Yeah.
That Sears the store
Yeah.
had guitars.
Apparently.
Their signature guitars.
And apparently Chris Isaac's first band, the
Clint?
Oh my God.
Clint?
The Devastator.
You just made that up, or is that an actual album?
I don't know. It's not
band,
an album.
I mean.
I don't know. The Devastators or the.
Is that a band?
I don't know.
What the hell?
It is now. I'm just making it up. I'm just thinking of like.
There you go. Devastators. If you guys want a band name, here you are. Devastators. No, the Silver Tone.
Oh, Silvertone, of course.
Oh, you knew that?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay. 3 more, and then we're done, or what?
Sure, whatever you got.
Okay, let's do this. 80s. This heavy metal band's 1986 debut album, Look What the Cat Dragged.
In.
Look What the Cat Dragged.
I have a good story about this album.
Hit number 3 and charted for 10 weeks on the U.S. charts. The answer is...
Poison.
What's the story?
So my babysitter.
Babysitter?
Yeah, so this was like... So I was... Well, what year was that, did they say?
Oh, man.
83 or something? No.
I don't know. We can rewind it.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. But so... I didn't know who Poison was at the time, but
okay.
So she brought over the cassette tape, and she put it in front of me. And if you know the cover of that album,
I don't.
Google it real quick and check it out.
What was it called?
Look What the Cat Dragged In. So, and anybody watching, just go Google that cover right now, and just so then you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So, anyways. So there it is. So
I've seen.
Yeah. So she says to me, she's like, so hey Dan,
who do you think is hot?
She's like, who do you think the hottest girl is on this on this picture on this thing? And I was like, so I looked. I'm like, so I picked one, right? I'm pretty sure I picked Bobby. I think that one there. Right?
This one?
I think so, yeah. And she was like, hey, that's a guy. I'm like, what? Okay, fine. This one. And she's like, that's a guy too. I'm like, what? She's like, it's all guys. I'm like, no.
Oh my God. But they literally look like girls.
I know, right? It's like, I mean, the 80s thing is just so brutal.
That's so insane.
Yeah, but
guys,
anyway,
go look.
Yeah,
at the
so
album
that's my Look What the Cat Dragged In story. It's a fun one.
So is there a song called that?
Look What the Cat Dragged In. Yeah,
I've never heard of it.
And I actually enjoyed that album quite a bit. They had what the hell else was on that one? I can't remember offhand, but. I did like Poison, though.
I'm going to give you a bunch of easy ones. Oh. In what California locale did the Red Hot Chili Peppers form in 1983?
Hollywood.
Yep. Is that 3 more? Or?
Huh?
Yeah, I think that was 3 now.
Oh.
I think that's all.
Do one more.
One more. He's on fire, guys.
Come on. You haven't stumped me yet. Oh, no, the Chris Isaac one you stumped me with. The Silver Tone.
Okay, I mean, you know this one.
Oh.
Do you want me to give you a hard one or easy one? Okay, easy one. This hard rock band was formed in Australia. I didn't know they were formed in Australia.
AC/DC?
Let me complete
It's either that or Midnight Oil.
No, this hard rock band was formed in Australia in 1973 by the Scottish brothers Angus and Malcolm Young. So they're from Australia?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, last one. George Michael's 1987 Grammy-winning album included 4 #1 hit singles. Name the album.
Name the album?
George Michael's 1987 Grammy-winning album included 4 #1 hit singles.
Yeah, that's the one with like father figure on it and all that, I think. I honestly, man, I don't know. I don't know.
You gotta have
faith.
That's it.
Damn it! I should have known that. See, I'm like, I feel like I should have known it.
That's why I was like,
whatever the hell. Yeah.
You gotta have faith.
Well, I think it would be nice. Yeah.
I think it would be nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, I did pretty good.
You did awesome.
That one I should have got though.
You did awesome. Well, next time we're gonna have Clint as a guest. And
Clint.
and then the whole episode is just you guys playing trivia. In tonight's episode. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. If you are watching, please check us out at soundcheckmusicschool.com. And you can also find us on YouTube and Facebook page and Instagram. And follow us on all these platforms. And also, please, 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 please include in the comments box in any of those platforms any suggestions on topics you would like us to speak about. It could be about whether the profession as a teacher or just music in general. It doesn't have to be, about teaching necessarily, just anything that is music related. We want to avoid the whole politics things. We don't want to talk about what's going on right now. Just not necessary. And plus, there's tons of that anywhere. So you don't need to hear it from us. And you'll probably hate us if you heard it from us. So anyways, but thank you so much for listening. This is Soundcheck Music School's podcast, episode 13. My name is Electra.
I'm Dan.
Bye.
See ya.